Got our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff. We like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated and uncompromising. Like an award-winning men's grooming experience from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Avenue, just south of Putes Road. Open 7 days a week, even Sundays. Walk in anytime, and before you know it, our talented stylist will bring you back to a simpler time. A time when you were handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Avenue, just south of Putes Road. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Bruston Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside former Badger and Packer Gary Ellerson, here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, the Gary Ellerson Homer Hour with Fat Jack. And Friday, the Gary Ellerson Homer Hour means that he gets the opening statement. I have no idea what he's going to want to talk about. What's at the top of the list? What's at the top of the food chain? And now, former Packer and former Badger, Gary Ellerson, with the opening statement, his opening statement.
Well, there's a lot that's at the top of the food chain, Homer. I mean, it depends on where you want to go. I mean, do you want to go with the WIA playoffs or just screwing up the seeding meeting?
Excuse me, sir. I believe I said the Gary Pebble. Did I say the Gary Ellerson
Homer Hour? Yes.
Yes, and that is his opening statement. I would have and deserve no impact on what you choose to start with. Take two. Gary Ellerson now with his opening statement. Whatever he chooses is correct because it's his.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. I'm curious what you'll do.
Should we start with the WIA playoff seeding? The travesty with Okamawalk not getting a first round in their seeding. I think they end up with like a 4 or 5.
How does this happen? People complain every year.
That's a good question.
All right.
That's a good question. How does Okamawalk win the Classic 8, the toughest conference in the state, and don't get a number 1 seed? How does it happen?
I don't know. I don't know how they missed the face mask penalty at the end of Thursday Night Football last night.
So I was going to finish. So we can go there, or we can go to the officiating last night with the face mask penalty that wasn't called on Sam Darnold. Or we can go with the Green Bay Packers in that do you still have doubts with Jordan Love? Although he beat a team last week that was really, really good, but I still think some people, when Jordan Love made the throws that he made, i.e. to Tucker Kraft, when he makes those significant throws, everyone just goes, oh, man, he threw it in traffic. Not that it was a great throw. It was Aaron Rodgers. It was a great throw. Or should we go into the Milwaukee Bucks, where I feel like it will be much of the same as we saw last year? I just don't think Dame Dollar is a right fit for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Wow, there's so much there. All right, let's start with, because what other people think, I don't really care. I want to know what you think. What are you thinking about Jordan Love? What do you want to tell everybody else with your experience in the NFL?
Here's what I feel.
Yes.
Here's what I feel about Jordan Love. I feel like people don't appreciate the great throws that he made just yet. I think people still feel like that's just luck. That he's not, because if it were Aaron Rodgers making those throws, they replay it back. They talk about he's throwing dimes, all this, that, and the other. I don't think people believe in the arm strength that Jordan Love has.
Do you think it's luck?
Chances? No, I don't.
Okay.
No, what he is doing is incredible. That throw he made to Tucker Kraft was incredible. The throw he made the week before to Christian Watson on 4th and 1 over the top of 3 people, Incredible. But nobody's talking about it. Nobody on the national level talking about it. Nobody on
But
the
you
local
are.
level
That's
talking
why
about it.
we do this show. That's why you're on Friday.
All we're talking about is the interceptions. Yeah, and he's going to throw some interceptions. He's still young. He's only what? How many games he started home with? 20
or something.
Games,
I don't know.
maybe?
You tell us. Talk to us, Gary. Straighten everybody out on Jordan Love. All right, Gary Ellerson on Jordan Love. What should we say?
He is still learning.
He's still all right. He's still learning.
Yeah, he's still honing his craft. I don't know how folks can't see that. That's just crazy.
What do you mean? A lot of people can't see it. That's the only reason we have a show. If all those people were smart and had the insight you do, they wouldn't need us for a show. That's what our job is to try to straighten people out. He is still learning.
Now,
Rule 1 on Jordan Love.
Still learning.
All right.
Still learning. So,
and some of his passes are incredible and as good as anything you've ever seen.
Anything I've ever seen.
Okay.
You're good, Homer. You're good.
All right. Some of his passes.
You're a smart dude.
Thank you. That's not part of your rundown, though. Some of his passes are as good as you've ever seen.
As I've ever seen. Any quarterback has thrown.
Wow.
Some of the passes, the Christian Watson throw on 4th and 1 is as good as any Aaron Rodgers throw he's ever made.
Yeah.
The touchdown pass that he threw, was that on the left sideline to Dontavian Wicks?
It doesn't matter. No, people remember.
Yeah, as good as I've ever seen it. The Tucker Kraft throw touchdown, as good as I've ever seen it.
All right, stop for just a second. Stop for just a second. I don't want my wife to say I'm interrupting. All right, here's Jordan Love, according to Gary Ellerson. 1, he is still learning. 2, some of his passes are as good as I've ever seen, and that includes Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
And Brett Favre.
Oh, okay, we can add Favre. All right, now we got 1 and 2. Do you have a 3? I mean, that pretty much covers it. I mean, if he's that good and he's still learning, that's amazing.
Yeah, still learning.
All right.
Still learning. All
right, I'm going to do this. Some of his passes are as good as I've ever seen. That includes Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. And he is still learning.
Yeah. Put that, can Pebble put that up there somewhere on the
Yes, we're going to use it. Now, do you want to add anything to it? You just want to do those two?
No, that's it. Just put that up there. Put it on the Twitter world. Everybody see it.
That's what we're here for. Yeah. Now, I do want to let you know on Twitter, not everybody agrees, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
So let me ask you as a follow-up. It's not on the 1 and 2. Then you are stating indirectly there's no way to know yet how good he might be. Because even while he's doing this now, so do we need to make some mention of, you better make some explanation of the interceptions. Because you don't address them in any way.
Well, the one that he threw.
All right, here we go. As far as the interceptions, what do you want to say?
Well, the one that he threw to Christian Watson, threw it over his head, I think he's right. He let it sail. But had he brought that ball down, that's a completed pass to Christian Watson. The other one that he threw, was that a pick six? The guy dropped off into coverage there, and I think he dropped off another guy, and he threw the pick.
I'm too focused on what you're saying.
He'll learn that coverage. He just got to see it more.
Okay, as far as all the interceptions, they will diminish or?
They will diminish.
Okay.
But I still think certain players will be who they are.
Right. There'll always be some. That's what you must accept with his greatness or what? And as far as all the exception, they will diminish. But it's a small price to pay for his excellence.
Correct.
All right. Okay. I think that might be it.
Wow.
That's a small part.
Good. Yeah.
It's a small price to pay for his excellence. Now, the key is that they will diminish. Because if you didn't say that, then there could be some debate.
Well, let's say the ones that will diminish, because I don't know if you can, because there's mistakes going to be made. So the one that he threw to Christian Watson, he threw it over the top of his head.
Right.
To me, I don't think those will diminish. But the one where the guy intercepted, I believe he ran it back for a pick six. Those were diminished because to me, that's a bait and switch where he dropped into coverage. Jordan Love didn't anticipate this guy getting there as quick as he did and getting an interception.
So I would say this. As far as all the interceptions, the number will diminish, and it's a small price to pay for his excellence.
Yes.
And remember, he is still learning.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Those are the three. Pebble, you got those, or is that too long?
That's good. I got it.
All right, here it is. Unless you want to add, this is where we're at. Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Some of his passes are as good as I've ever seen. That includes Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. As far as all the interceptions, the number will diminish. But it's a small price to pay for his excellence. And remember, he is still learning.
Exactly.
Okay, that's it.
There it is.
Maybe every week we can get an update on Gary Ellerson, on Jordan Love. Though, you might next week, you might say, nothing's changed. Still the same. Run it again.
Run it again.
I mean, at some point he'll be learning less, or at some point there'll be. You might want to add something else, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, run it again.
Maybe they'll when they have the next meeting with LaFleur, someone will say, "Hey, Gary Ellerson, this is what he said about Jordan Love. What do you think?" He'll go, "He nailed it.
Yeah,
he nailed it."
Yeah, run it again.
That's
just like my GAM comment with Tucker Kraft, right?
Yeah.
Team at some point, right?
Yeah. No, I guarantee you, if I knew that is so Tony Romo, he would just say, "Gam," and Nance would go, "Gam, yeah, grown ass man," and then just go from there. We'll just not say anymore. That's kind of it fits the way Tony Romo wants to be. He wants to be a little different. I'm a little worried that he seems like he might already be bored a little, but I don't
make a lot of money.
Well, I know, but there's an energy that you have that tells me you like watching the game. So I think he needs something like this.
Yeah,
that'll get him juiced.
Homer, when we come back, I don't know when we got to go to break.
We're going to take a break right now, and then you're going to talk to us.
I want you to give me your top five teams in the NFL right now today.
All right. I can tell you that. I can give you that right now.
No, just
I'll tell you right now. Kansas City Chiefs and everybody else. They're all the same compared to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Give me your top five when we come back.
All right.
Please.
Will do. Top five. You already know who's number one. Can I pick Kansas City for all 5 spots, or do I have to have 5 different teams?
You got to have 5 different teams.
All right. Man.
Please.
Pebble, am I this tough as the host of the show?
Can we let Pebbles get in on this too?
It's the Gary Ellerson Homer Hour. You can do whatever you want.
I want your top 5 in order.
And any other rules, sir? We got.
That's it.
All right, I'll do it. Can't use any team more than once. Have to be in order.
Right. Yes,
I just want to let you know, Pebble.
1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Well, do we start at 5 or start at 1?
Let's go 5. Let's go 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Pebble. Yeah.
Pebble, I just want to let you know you're a lot easier to deal with than this guy. Give him a show and then, oh man, it's out of control. That's next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 43, we got a little bit of a backup between Silver Spring and Capitol Drive, so give yourself that extra time. We also have a crash, 894 southbound, right heading into the Hale interchange. Left lane is blocked with that one. Delays stretching back to National Avenue. Eastbound 94 backed up from 92nd Street all the way through the stadium. The westbound side slow from 27th to about Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 40 at the lake, 34 inland. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 57. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
What happens happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game. So that's what it needs to be. I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry
Are you guys being
turnovers.
serious? You guys can't put two.
I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnovers.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you too, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Remember when Hillary Clinton called you a deplorable?
You can put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
Well, Tammy Baldwin agrees with her.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob who spends more nights sleeping in New York City with her Wall Street executive girlfriend than she does in Wisconsin. Tammy Baldwin doesn't have Wisconsin values.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Hauntingly good deals await you at the Kunis Auto Group's October Spooktacular Savings Event. There will be no tricks, only treats.
Trick or treat!
On the price you'll get on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Prices will be slashed at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis Auto Group dealership. America's best-selling cars, trucks, and SUVs from both Buick and GMC. All marked down with October Spooktacular Savings discounts and incentives, including their entire inventory of pre-owned vehicles. Choose from over 1,500 on lot or online. There'll be dozens of spooktacular service specials and everything from brakes, tires to oil changes. Plus, with any test drive in October, you'll be entered to win free gas for a year, with drawings held every Friday throughout the month at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Kunis dealerships in both Greenfield and Oak Creek. Halloween savings aren't just slashed, they're chainsawed at the Kunis Auto Group's October Spooktacular Savings Event going on now. For additional event info, go to shopkunis.com.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Gary Ellerson Homer Hour, and now we get Gary Ellerson on one of his partners. Take it away.
Guys, I want to talk about my good friends over at the Jury Center. That next step in life and propose, if you're getting ready to do that, the Jury Center has to be the first stop. Whether it's naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds, the Jury Center has options for it all. Maybe you don't know exactly what kind of ring that special someone wants, but if they have a Pinterest board or ideas, bring it to the Jury Center. Their team of experts will help take your ideas from a dream to a reality. Learn more about their engagement ring selections or any other services at shoptjc.com. Shoptjc.com or stop in today at any of their 3 locations, Greenville, Brookville, or Burlington.
Gary Ellison's Homer Hour, and he just gave us a edict, and I will let Pebble go first. The top 5-10. Yeah, you gave us, not only said top 5, but you gave us rules on an edict, like you got to do it this way. You can't have the same team 5 times. You got to, which is okay, but that's an edict. All right, Pebble, you get to go first. The top 5 teams in the NFL from 5 to 1.
Well, I will say at number 5, I did have, going into last night, I had the Minnesota Vikings, but now they've dropped down. So My new number 5 in my top 5 power rankings is the Washington Commanders. They lost Jaden Daniels to an early injury last week, but they still blew the doors off the Panthers, winning 40-7 with Marcus Mariota under center. They're a fun team to watch, I think, on both sides. They're 5-2. They got a good shot at making the playoffs. So right now, they're my number 5 team in the NFL, the Washington Commanders.
Would you like to go all the way up to the top? Let's check with Gary.
Yes,
Gary.
let's go.
All right.
All the way. Let's go.
All the way. Take it away, Pebble.
All right, so then my number 4 team is the Baltimore Ravens. They're 5-2 as well. It's coming off a win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 41-31. Derrick Henry's running the ball very well. Lamar Jackson's back there. So I have them at number 4 in my power rankings. They're just ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think, in terms of overall talent in the NFC North. My number 3 on the list, the Buffalo Bills. They're also 5-2, coming off a win over the Titans. They've given up 3.7 yards per target against their nearest defender, tied for the third fewest by a player with 20 or more targets, according to the NFL Gen X stats. They've been playing very well. Josh Allen, I don't think he's thrown an interception yet this season as well. So they're number 3 on my list. Number 2 is the Detroit Lions. They're just a gritty bunch led by Dan Campbell, their head coach. They're 5-1, now atop the NFC North. They've playmakers everywhere. The injury to Aiden Hutchinson, I think, is going to hurt them a little bit, but they'll see if they can get somebody before the trade deadline coming up on the defensive line. But they're number 2 on the list, and of course, you got to beat the man to beat the man. That's Kansas City Chiefs. They're 6-0. Patrick Mahomes throwing picks all over the place, but he's still winning ball games. And until they're dethroned, they're going to be number 1 on this list for me, the Kansas City Chiefs.
And now it is my turn. Number 5.
Can I just ask a question? Just
sure,
real quick?
You got a question? Yeah.
Did Pebble have, were the Packers in Pebble top 5?
They were not.
They were not, no.
Oh.
Would you like, were they 6? Were they close, or do you want to let?
No, I just wanted to know. I just want to know. Go ahead, Pebble.
I have them somewhere around 8, probably.
That's okay. 8.
I probably have Philly in there at 6, maybe the Steelers at 7, and then Packers at 8, probably.
Okay.
The problem is, like, you rate them, but then you know that you're only going to have one NFC and one AFC team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So if you pick all AFC teams, it doesn't.
I mean, according to Pro Football Focus, the Packers face the fourth hardest schedule the rest of the way. So
yeah.
We'll see how they do coming up.
All right. Would you like mine, or do you want to give yours, Gary?
I would like to hear yours, Steve, the homework.
Again, if I had to do it based on level, then I'd have 4 teams in the top 5 from the AFC, but that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So I believe number 5 should be the Pittsburgh Steelers, but because I don't want to pick so many AFC, the Green Bay Packers are number 5, the Buffalo Bills are number 4, the Detroit Lions are number 3, the Baltimore Ravens are number 2, and Kansas City is number 1. And if there was no Kansas City, Baltimore is actually better than Kansas City, but they can't beat Kansas City, so what good does that? There you have it. Packers.
There it is.
Packers, and it should be Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well,
the Bills,
similar situation, obviously. Yeah.
Detroit, Baltimore, and Kansas City.
I like that top 5, but it's your top 5. Now I get to announce my top 5.
Yes,
similar
you do.
Situation. 5, the Green Bay Packers as of today. 4, the Minnesota Vikings. 3, the Baltimore Ravens. 2, the Detroit Lions. And number 1, of course, everybody's number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Can I have a question for you?
Yes, sir.
How in God's name can you pick the Minnesota Vikings after watching them last night lose by 10 to the Los Angeles Rams? And I checked their record. They're 3-4. Even with that 10-point win, they're minus 30 in point differential. What?
Yeah, I don't do. What's their overall record, Homer?
What is their overall record? The Vikings?
Yeah,
they would be 5-2.
They won.
They're 5-2.
And last time we checked, they beat the Packers, right?
Oh yeah, but they've also lost their last 2 games. Is that right, Pebble?
Yeah, and so we haven't even. Yeah, and they have. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on the face mask.
Clearly, you are.
My home team.
Yeah.
So
To me, there's no doubt they're just not that good. And they lost. Who'd they lose?
Well,
of course they don't know. They lost their left tackle, didn't they, Pebble? Didn't they lose some for the?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they did. But But so the jury is still out on them. I don't know, and maybe Pebble can look it up, but their next 3 games will determine what that season will look like.
I think they're pretty easy.
Cupcakes. Yeah.
Colts, Jaguars, and Titans. And that means at that point in time they will be 8-2. And you know what that means?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna be the biggest collapse in the NFL. Pebble, write that down. When they get to 8-2.
And they've always been the biggest collapse in the NFL, but you got to wait till it collapse. They haven't collapsed yet.
No, they haven't. That's what I'm giving you. The
right
collapse.
now they can rattle off 3 games. Right
they should. They should be 8-2.
I'm not a Vikings fan. I'm not a Vikings fan, Homer. But I'm just stating what the facts are that they can rattle off a 3-game winning streak right now. The Packers' 3 games are what? What do they got left? 3 games. Just these 3 games compared to the Vikings.
They have to be harder than those 3 games.
The Jaguars on the road, the Lions at home, and then they visit the Bears. They also have a bye week in between there as well.
Definitely tougher. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So all that's going to come back to the Pack, so to speak. No pun intended.
Wow. Tell us about coaches and the reality of the Packers adding the head coach of the New York Jets just a couple of weeks. You love it.
I love it.
Did you ever experience anything like it as a player at either the college or the pro level? Well, you went to practice, you go, what the hell's he doing here?
No, I'm gonna go with it like this, Homer. I was out of a job, and you said we need to go get Gary Ellerson and bring him over here because he's good. No matter what they thought over there, what they did, this dude is good at what he does. I know it. I vouched for him. I gave him a start. Bring him over here right now. He's good.
That is what I said, actually. That's true. Yeah.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you said. So if I can equate it into radio terms, because you've done it yourself, we need that guy over here right now.
He's their Gary Ellerson? Oh, yeah.
He's a Robert Saleh.
But he's their Gary Ellerson, Robert Saleh. Yeah. No, you got to hang up. No, you can't say anymore. You got to hang up. You're done. Robert Saleh is their Gary Ellerson. Hang up. Just right now. Hang up, or I'm going to hang up on you. Bye.
There it is. Bye.
Next, Fat Jack. Oh, I got so many questions.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 894. Looks like we've got a crash on the way into the Hale interchange that is blocking the left lane. So careful. We got backups all the way back to Greenfield Avenue with that. Eastbound I-94. We got backups from 92nd Street all the way through to 35th. Westbound from 25th Street out to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on 43. Watch for delays from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 40 at the lake, 34 inland. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 57. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni Frozen Pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all the screamin' is about.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it. I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $8.95? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $8.95 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield and in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. But remember, before you do anything, as I did, RobertHackDiamonds.com. and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
Are you looking for a reliable ride? I've got you covered. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. I use AccuTrans Group for my private transportation needs during the college football season. AccuTrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From corporate travel and weddings to group events, AccuTrans Group caters to every occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to get a quote or to book a reservation today for reliable and safe transportation.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucks.com/tickets. That's Bucks.com/tickets.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
We've had it for many years. We've never needed it more than ever before because there are like 8 million ways you can bet. You need to listen to Fat Jack not only on the proper teams, but on the proper way to execute your winning. Go to FatJackSports.com. He puts everything up. When you're good, you can do that. You don't have to hide anything. Jack, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, we're on a nice run right now. 12-3 last week with the football selections, including 5-1 on Saturday. We won Monday with Arizona. We had over the total last night in the NFL game. So 14-3 run, and that's on the heels of an 11-5 run the week before. So where September was not a ton of profit immediately, October has more than made up for it. We're deep into profit now, and on, as I said, 14-3 run in football, and it's a $99 weekend, Homer. So you get signed up right now. You get everything through Monday in football for only $99.
I want to talk about college because I think now you probably know more about these teams than everybody. The more games they play, the better you understand who's like Penn State. Wisconsin's playing. Penn State's third in the country. No way. But I don't know if maybe they are. I just can't think of them being that good.
No, they're not. I mean, we know what Penn State is. They didn't all of a sudden get a bunch of Alabama or Georgia athletes in. What Penn State is what they are every year. They're Groundhog's Day. They're a team that beats up on bad teams and loses to good teams. So what is Wisconsin? I mean, that's the thing. They're probably closer to a bad team than they are a great team. But certainly there's a reason why this number is only 6.5 or 7. It's because Penn State's overrated. Anybody looks at the polls and thinks anything from that. I mean, the two undefeated teams in the SEC, Homer, are LSU and A&M. Nobody thinks those are the two best teams in the LSU. So you got to be in the SEC. So you got to be careful about putting too much into records at this time of year, certainly rankings, because that will get you beat. That's certainly one of those upset alert type games with Penn State. A lot of the general public just filing up and saying, hey, I'll take the better team, the higher rank, let's go. That's worked in the NFL lately with road favorites covering at such a high success, but overall, not a good plan. So yeah, I lean toward Wisconsin there, plus the points. Wouldn't surprise me if Penn State went down.
And Georgia. Okay, I watch Georgia. There's your best team in the country. I don't know how they lost or who. All I know is that was a level of football I have not seen from any other college team this year, accurate or not.
Well, they lost because what's funny is they lost because they turned the ball over 4 times against Alabama. Everybody wants to forget that. Nobody wants to remember the fact. They just remember they lost to Alabama. They don't. Homer, if you go play anybody, if Wisconsin goes and turns the ball over 4 times at Penn State, they're going to beat by 30 tomorrow. And so you can't turn the ball over. Georgia turned the ball over 4 times against Alabama and still took the lead in the fourth quarter. This is a very good football team. They were my highest bet of the entire year, I bet, on Georgia over Texas. My second highest was Tennessee over Oklahoma in week 3 or 4 or whatever it was. So that was an easy win. A lot of general public lining on exactly what we're talking about, a team that hadn't played anybody. The highest ranked offense that they had played all year long was about 74th in the country. UTSA was 71st, I think, in total offense. That's the best offense they had played. Huge step up in class. That got them beat. Georgia is the best team in the country in spite of their 4 turnovers against Alabama. So that will all sort itself out. But don't expect a team that we know doesn't have any different athletes just because they've won based on schedule or something else to all of a sudden be great because their record in mid-October says they're great.
All right. I know there is millions to be made. Talking with Fat Jack, you go to fatjacksports.com. But I just don't know how to do it. Army and Navy, they just can't be that good, or maybe they're good, and so I don't know how the odds makers can ever believe they're going to be that good. Talk to me about Army and Navy.
So I fall into the school that Army and Navy do not recruit any different athletes today than they did last year or 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. They're getting the same players. Now, yes, they're playing well. They're playing together. They're getting the lead. That always helps when you're an option team. But make no mistake about it, Homer, they're going to show up again, Navy, on Saturday against a team that has primarily better athletes than them. It'll be a huge step up in class. And a team that, Army and Navy, the downside to playing that type of football is if and when you get behind. That becomes a problem because you're one-dimensional. It's hard to catch up, and you get a team with a bigger, stronger front that knows how to defend the option. It's hard to come back on a team like that. So although I don't know that talent-wise, the way these two teams are playing, Notre Dame is 13 to 14 points better than them. I do think that if Notre Dame gets up 10 to 14 in the late third or early fourth quarter, that turns into 21 or 28 pretty quick because Army or Navy has no answer on how to get back in a game like that other than what they just continue to keep doing. So I hope I'm wrong. Army and Navy, both great stories. They have great years, and I'd like to see that game at the end of the year mean maybe a shot into the playoff. That would be great for college football, in my opinion. But right now, as we're sitting here, I haven't seen anything with Army or Navy, certainly Navy. Army a little bit different. They got some better athletes on campus, but I haven't seen anything that's going to lead me to believe that they're within 2 touchdowns of Notre Dame.
Go to fatjacksports.com. He told you about the special, but more than anything, find out how he does because he doesn't have to hide anything. And he'll tell you what to do and how to do it. All right, USC, that coach, he's just going to lose. I don't know how you take advantage of. They have, I think, incredible talent, and I thought they were really good. I don't know, after I saw an early game, and they just make mistakes or explain. Is there a certain style or reality of USC under that coach?
Well, anybody that runs from competition, and this goes all the way back to his days in Oklahoma. I mean, listen, what's happening in Oklahoma right now is exactly why Lincoln Riley left and went to the West Coast, because he knows that even at the time Pac-12, but even in the Big Ten, there's more margin for error against good teams than there is in the SEC. The problem with that culture is that he is an offensive-minded coach. They played good defense early in the year, but their offense was also pretty good, and we expected it to get a lot better. Their offense has really not gotten a lot better, and their defense has actually regressed a little bit based on attrition and injuries and other things. So it's hard to take advantage of it because now the line setters have caught up. There's a couple of easier spots. I think Texas rebounds. I think Alabama and Texas both rebound on Saturday off losses. I had the other side of both those games. I had Alabama against Tennessee, and I had Georgia against Texas. So, but I do think both those teams probably get back on track. Vanderbilt is a slow it down, lower scoring team, another team that won't have a lot of answers if and when Texas gets the lead. So I'd lay the big number there. In the Big Ten, look for stylistic matchup to be a little bit of a problem for a team like Illinois going to Oregon. Oregon, difficult place to play, high-powered offense. Illinois has gotten away with beating teams, even good teams, that don't play a lot of great offense. They're getting the opposite of that this week. That's why they're a 3-touchdown favorite. I go ahead and lay the big number and play Oregon.
All right, let's get to the NFL. Packers, I mean, you have to beat Jacksonville, but I don't know. The weird things happen, and underdogs always, when in doubt, go with the underdog. I don't know if you I always think all things being equal, but I don't know if that's a bad philosophy.
It's been a bad philosophy the last 2 weeks. As a road favorite, exactly like Green Bay, exactly like Buffalo, exactly like Kansas City, Chicago, Atlanta, all those road favorites are 12-0 against the spread. So better team playing on the road against the worst team. That has done nothing but pay dividends for the general public. The books have gotten killed the last 2 weeks on Sundays. Don't expect that to continue. We saw a little bit of that last night with Minnesota, road favorite, going to the Rams for the game. And everybody's not sure how the Rams are going to get it done. They got it done and then some against Minnesota. Expect more of that. Green Bay's absolutely on upset alert here. There's a number why that number is so low. The same thing with a team like Dallas and San Francisco. Dallas only a 5-point underdog at San Francisco, even with their injuries. There's something fishy in both those games. And one of the things is there's so much parity in the NFL. You're never as bad as you appear. You're never as good as you appear. Look for some of these upsets. There's also room for Green Bay to win but not cover. I think that's probably where that ends. They get out of there with the win, but the money goes to the Jags at home plus the points. If you want one of those road favorites that I think is a good spot, because some of those will cover. They're not all going to not cover, even though they are 21-12 against the spread this year, of 5.5 points or more. Look for Chicago. Washington hasn't played anybody, Homer. They've beaten the Giants. They beat Cincinnati, Arizona, Cleveland, and Carolina. Those are the Washington Commanders wins. When they play two decent teams, on offense especially, Baltimore, they gave up 30. Tampa Bay, they gave up 37. All right, those wins, none of those offenses can put up 30 points on you and I. Chicago is getting better. Caleb Williams is certainly playing better. Their defense is more than adequate to beat Washington. I don't care who starts at quarterback, which Washington does have quarterback questions right now because of injuries. Play the Bears on the road. That's your road favorite.
All right, tell me about Dallas. They got beat by 1 million in their last game, and now they're on the road. Do they bounce back, or are they just not very good? San Francisco, they're playing 49ers favored by 4.5, even with 1 million injuries.
Vegas thinks they're bouncing back. That is a get-well-make-up game, solo Sunday night game that Dallas is they're not even a 6-point favorite. The problem's been San Francisco's defense is 27th in the league on third down. They're only getting teams off the field 45% of the time on third down. So they are playing a lot of possessions. And the Niners are 8-14 against the spread in their last 22. So they are not covering a lot of points.
Now, I want to make sure I have it San Francisco minus 4.5. Do I have that right?
They are. No, you do. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That most, even with the injuries, I don't know how you walk up and play Dallas based on what we've seen. They are coming off a bye. They are coming off a bye week, but they got embarrassed 47-9 last time out. But they are 3-0 straight up and 2-1 against the spread on the road. So they've looked better on the road than they have at home. But gosh, if you watch any of those games at home, you're not sure Dallas could beat Georgia. But expect them back on the road off a bye to put up a fight. Another one of those games they could definitely get the cover and not the win. I think that's probably where that ends at a close game. Take Dallas plus the points.
It doesn't happen. Are there some NFL teams so bad, like Carolina or
Giants?
Giants. I mean, do you ever get to that point? They're so bad. I don't care who they're playing. I don't care what the spread is. I'm going the other way. Do you ever get to that point, or is that a bad philosophy?
Or I'm not going to bet them. I mean, there's certain teams where I'm either not going to bet the game or I'm going to bet on the other team. And the Giants are that team for me right now. They can't score. Everything coming out of the locker room and off the podium from their coaches, they do not have any answers. And week after week, they show up and put up little to no points. Now, I don't expect Russell Wilson to play that well all year long, as good as he did this last week for Pittsburgh. But even if they don't play as well, the Giants can't get in the end zone. And if you can't score, you can't cover 6 or 7. And so I think so they're the type team on Monday. I will either play the Steelers or I won't play the game because I can't see a path to 14 points out of the Giants unless their defense takes the ball away.
Would you play the under on a team because of that? Like if Giants can't score, then Pittsburgh's not going to score 36. Or am I missing something there?
Well, it can't is that thing. I can't see how it's going to happen. But if it does happen, then it's going to go over the total. We see a lot of these games that are in the mid-30s. Now, under 37, generally speaking, over the last 10 years has been an underplay. But generally speaking, you're going to play under in this game. But when you get a turnover, too, we've seen a lot of these lately where it's been a turnover here, a short field there that's gotten these games a little bit over. So that's probably the easier play is under the 36 or so. But that or Pittsburgh. I just can't see the Giants getting in the end zone without help.
So just quickly, and we'll go to fatjacksports.com. There's a point where the number gets so low that even if it should be lower, the odds makers won't go there. So that's why you're saying about something really low. I mean, I'm sure there's probably an over, too, that if it gets to 50-something, whatever it is, they won't go over that. And would you sometimes say take the over when it's really high, or is that different?
Yeah, no, we've talked about that. There's ceilings in college and pro football that you're going to get low and high where they're looking for 50% of the money on each side. So even if their math says a game is going to end at, think Iowa in college football.
Yes, that's right.
Or somebody that just can't score. And they should be maybe 22. The pregame total is never going to be 22 because then they're going to have huge exposure on the over, even if that's where it should end up. So when they set that at 34, you're getting 12 points worth of value to play the under versus where it should be versus where they set the number. Same thing in the NFL. The lower it gets, expect the value to go on the under because they're not going to set it in the 20s. And the same way on the high, over about 55, 56. Any higher than that, expect some value. There's a possibility the math would take the real outcome of that game much higher, but they're not going to set it over because they're, again, looking for 50% of the money on each side.
FatJackSports.com. Give them the special again, Jack.
$99 for football through Monday. I run this about every 6 weeks. We are 12-3 last week. Every play is posted and documented. If you count the 2 wins this week, 14-3 in football the last 9 days, and that on the heels of 11-5. So a 25-7 run in football. We're going to continue that this week. As I said, we're undefeated this week. Everything's posted under the results tab. Go by, check it out, get signed up. $99 through Monday at fatjacksports.com.
Thanks. We'll talk next Friday.
All right, brother. Take care. See you soon.
fatjacksports.com. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to the Weekly Wager with Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
Hi, I'm David Gruber. When you've been seriously injured, you need the best team of professionals on your side. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices to get the results you deserve. One call, that's all.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Did you know Love was born November 2nd? Did you know Love was raised in Bakersfield, California? Did you know Love played college football at Utah State? Are you looking for lots of Love touchdowns the rest of this football season? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we love being your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. With our selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor has all your tailgating needs covered. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
This political season, you'll hear a lot of noise. But this November, Walker Media Agency has the expertise and team to improve your marketing, advertising, and IT. Start at WMA2024.com. Paid for by Matt Walker and Walker Media Agency.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week are the Divine Savior Holy Angels High School varsity golf team, winning state for the second year in a row. In the state final tournament, the best 4 scores belonged to Ava Resch, a junior, 2 freshmen, Addison Resch and Julia Kruger, but was led all season long by sophomore Zoe Grinowitz, who had a 75.4 scoring average. Junior Ava Resch did finish top 10 individually at state, and it was Zoe Grinowitz finishing 5th place. It was her back-to-back 77 cards that helped Divine Savior Holy Angels win that back-to-back state championship. Congratulations again to the Divine Savior Holy Angels High School varsity girls golf team for their 2nd straight state championship.
Cousins Subs is spicing things up this fall with a new sub and a delicious shake. The Chipotle Cheesesteak Sub with either grilled-to-order chicken or steak features pepper jack cheese, sautéed green peppers and onions, jalapenos, and Chipotle ranch dressing. And that's not all. Pair your Chipotle Cheesesteak with a new pumpkin pie shake and your taste buds will fall in love. Order in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. 1 call, that's all.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
1, 2, 1. 7 minutes left. Gary Ellerson on assignment, so you can be Gary Ellerson, but you better do it quickly. 1-800-990-3776. Can you make the show better? Tune in to Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucks star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks and Six, how it became the rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. 1-800-990-3776. Nothing on the show today will be remembered as much as Gary Ellerson. His rules on Jordan Love. This is what you should think about Jordan Love. He can't control what you do, but that's what we're here to do, is help. The Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. Gary Ellerson says some of Jordan Love's passes are as good as anything thrown by Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers during their time with the Packers. Agree or disagree? 82% agree, 18% disagree. Surprises me that it's that high. But so Gary Ellerson's points on Jordan Love, which is what you should think, though he can't guarantee that you do. Yes, according to Gary Ellerson, some of Jordan Love's passes are as good as he's ever seen from Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. As far as all the interceptions, the number will diminish, but it's a small price to pay for his level of excellence. And remember, he is still learning. Tomorrow night, Wisconsin against Penn State. If Wisconsin could pull off the win, it would be by far the most impressive win of Luke Fickell in his time as coach at Wisconsin. It would be, it could end up being historic. Certainly, it's historic right now because Penn State is 3rd in the country. But it would depend as far as historic as to how high is Penn State at the end of the year. The Packers were a 5.5-point favorite over Jacksonville, then a 4.5, now 3.5. I'll have to check. I don't get that at all. It may be because of Jacksonville wasn't horrific in their game in London against who was it they came back and beat? They were behind early, and then they came back and won. I can't remember who it was, but it was an impressive performance. I mentioned this to Fat Jack. I mean, Georgia's the best team I've seen in college football, and it's not even close. Pebble follows college football even closer than I do. Was that performance by Georgia, or maybe Texas isn't as good as it seemed?
No, Georgia's the best team in the country, I thought, coming into the year. I thought they were the most talented team in the country. They're not on par with the Georgia teams of the past, but there's probably still...
They aren't?
No.
Because of quarterback?
They're just not as deep. They're just not as talented. They're still talented above everybody else. It's like Georgia is tier 1, and then there's everybody else. But then in terms of talent, Georgia's a very talented team. Ohio State's a very talented team. Miami is a very talented team as well, from all the transfers they got in. But like you said, Homer, Georgia, I think, is still the team to beat in college football this year. No matter them losing to Alabama or not, according to the fact check as well, they had 4 turnovers in that game. But they go on the road and beat Texas, who was the number 1 team in the country as well. They obviously pulled Quinn Ewers and put Arch Manning in there as well, so they're kind of going with 2 quarterbacks there. They have a very good offensive line, and Georgia's defense is kind of overmatched and overwhelmed them in that game.
Yeah, no, they just put a whooping on them. Now, is it Notre Dame against Navy?
Yes, Notre Dame Navy on Saturday.
Is that afternoon, evening?
That's a noon game or 11 o'clock game.
Because that's my pick.
Navy?
No, my pick is Notre Dame. I can't believe Navy's that good. They're Navy.
Our Army's that good, too.
I know. I can't believe they're that good. Now, part of it is you have to look at the schools they play.
Of course, yeah.
They don't play anybody, but they're still impressive. They're unbeaten. I mean, I'm sorry. Army and Navy are not supposed to be ranked.
No, they're service academies, and they're the 2 of the I think they're the bottom 2 in terms of passing in college football this year.
Yeah, no, it can't be. Just if it's wrong. I don't.
Typical service academy, they run the ball. So, but it's going to be amazing. Hopefully, if they both keep winning, that game, Army Navy game at the end of the year, could be for a spot in the college football playoff.
I just want to let you know, and that's not possible. And if Army and Navy, even when it's important, can't be important. I mean, it's important if you're in the military, but like Notre Dame is 13.5. Okay, I'm making no formal predictions. I'm just trying to bet to help people. But because, as you look, the greatest prediction ever, and if you have a greater prediction, let me know, that 5 days before the Packers game against the Texans, I predicted a game-winning field goal.
You did, indeed.
At the end of the game, that would give the Packers a 2-point win, and I said it would be 45 yards, or did I say 46? And I was off by a yard.
You were off by a yard.
And I'm looking to getting the NFL to change the yardage so that I can be 1,000% perfect. And I'm making no such predictions the rest of my life because there's no way I can do better than that one. And again, 5 days before. And if I want to exaggerate a little bit, it was even before they had officially signed the kicker. That I did believe they were going to sign him. And I don't know. I don't know what to think. I mean, the Packers should beat Jacksonville by more than 3.5 points. But I still.
Stranger things have happened.
Oh, all the time. But I mean.
Like 0-6 Kennesaw State beating undefeated Liberty.
Really? I can't say that I was, 27-24? I don't know anything about either teams. Other than that.
I know when you're 0-6 and it's your first year in Division I football, you should be beating an undefeated
Well, and
team.
Liberty, who's the quarterback from Liberty? Who was at the guy who filled in for the Packers? He quarterbacked at Liberty. But anyway. Yeah. I admit, I don't know anything about Navy, but you know what I know? They're Navy. They can't be that good. Where are they playing? In
Maryland, I think?
East Rutherford, but, I mean, it'll probably be feel like a home game for Notre Dame. So there's my pick, my betting pick. It is no prediction. I will retire making predictions with my late field goal win by the Packers. And, yes, you can where can you listen to that? It's all over. It's on TMJ, too.
At the Packer game?
No, my prediction.
Oh, your prediction? Yeah, it's on TMJ, yeah.
Yeah, or WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Yep.
So good, I'll never make another prediction. World Series Game 1, does it really matter? You got Bill Gates against Steve Jobs. I mean, the Dodgers versus the Yankees. How can you pick? There's no underdog.
It's a star-studded World Series.
No, it's a lion against another lion. Who can root for? Well, I like this line better. No, there is no underdog in this World Series. Next.
Westbound 94 got an accident right about at 35th Street. Center Lane is blocked with this, so that's going to be causing some issues.